Hello, everybody. It's Cinco de Mayo of COVID-19 year. I really hope that that's sufficient to explain what year it is. We don't go into this for 2 or 3 more years. I figured today, since we can't visit anybody, I would take you on a little tour of my growing area. But I started out here with a beehive. You're not going to see any bees because it's freaking cold out. It's the first week of May and it's chilly. This is my outdoor growing area and it's in winter configuration. I took advantage of the warm weather this weekend and put up the shade cloth, which if it snows is going to come right back down, but hopefully it stays up. And then just imagine this is all picked up and there's plants everywhere. That's what it looks like in the summertime. Well, maybe not the picked up part. Anyway, this is the outside door to my growing area, and if we open it up, we enter into the permanently heated part. So I grow mostly orchids and I grow mostly lady slippers, but there's a bunch of other things. So this is mainly so that people can see how I grow. You don't really need to see what I'm growing. If you see a flower that you really like, figure out what the timestamp is and ask me and I'll let you know what it is. So anyway, this is the general configuration. I've got, this is 30 by about 24 feet, filled with various racks. I just realized that the last video I made was in 2011. If you want to see this in its pristine and clean and where you can see the walls state, I'll make a link somewhere so you can see that. But just showing you some of the plants. Most things I grow as layers. So what I mean by that is, you see I've got an upper layer here, which I've got, oh, I dare take pictures of lights with the phone. Some lights above it. Okay, those are LED lights. I'm using entirely LEDs at this point. And then I've got a lower rack down here. Some of these plants are a little ratty. I need to clean them up a little bit, which has got another set of LEDs above it. This distance from this shelf here, you see my hand? This shelf here down to here is about 30 inches. And on these shelves I keep my taller plants and the ones that are, this one's in bloom, as you can see. This is a nice lady slipper, pretty red color. I keep my taller plants because there's a little more head space here. On this shelf, and the reason I'm making this video is, one, I need to practice making videos, and two, somebody was asking questions about how far apart I put my shelves, and I mentioned that this is not the way I would do it. So if you can see, this is, let me change it to this mode here. There are actually 3 shelves here, and this thing right here is about my head height. So I've actually got 3 growing shelves in here, but honestly, actually I used to have 4, believe it or not, and they were a lot closer together. This is pretty much as close together as I'm going to want to go, because it's getting really hard to get the hose, the watering system in here to water these plants without a lot of headspace. So I actually this winter I took out one of the shelves, so now you see it in its space configuration. I also wanted to show you these lights here. You see, I've got the lights are just zip tied to the wire shelf above. I show you one of those lights that's turned off, but those are all LED lights. These are all lady slipper seedlings, well, except for this one. This is a Polystakia. Okay, and then I don't know which way to go first. Here's my door to the inside part. That's my work storage space, unheated. And so now if I back up, you can kind of see this shelving system, and again, that top shelf is about my head height. Little challenge. Sometimes I have to get a stool out to really water properly and see what's blooming and growing up there and what I need to do. But if I put those shelves any closer together, I'm not going to have much luck watering and keeping things separated. Here you can see I've got the same kind of lights. You'll see a few blue and, well, actually all I can see on my screen is red lights. Those are slowly getting swapped out for just the white. I find that the white, my plants grow just as well under the white. I'm not trying to grow any outdoor plants in here, so as those burn out, I'm replacing them with white. They're not as durable as the white tubes. See, I've got mounts here. These are plants growing under mounts. They're just on a wire rack. These lights are a little different up here. Again, I dare. Here's try it. And boom. Those are spotlights, LED spotlights. You can buy those for like $10 or $12 on Amazon. The problem is they last for about 6 months and then they burn out. So pretty much every light I have that is that style, I've had to rebuild and put new chips in them. Here's another bench here. You can see a lot of mounted stuff on the wall, and you can really see that purple light here. That's just red and blue light. There's no green light in that. And as a hobbyist, mostly hobbyist, I like to be able to see the colors of my flowers, and believe it or not, most green things under these lights look almost black. There's a lot of white light in here, so, but I don't know if you can see those plants. It's not a normal plant color. It's really hard to see what's going on. So it's cool to grow plants under those plant growing lights, but I prefer the white light. Okay, so here's another rack. This is kind of my default system with these racks. So if we go over here, this is almost all white light. And back out a little bit. Maybe someday I'll figure out how to use the zoom on here. You can see a bunch more plants growing under those lights. So let's take a little more little walk here. Oh, notice there's a rag stuffed in where the door handle should be. I have rotted out 2 handle sets on this room. In the winter especially, the condensation kicks up and it rots those sets out. Okay, here's another growing area where I grow a lot of my little plants. These are pretty freshly started out of flask lady slipper seedlings, and I'm playing with carnivorous plants and not doing too terribly well with them. Someday I'll do a video on how to deflask orchids when we got another set. Let me show you my water. Here's my water tank. That's a 1,000-gallon water tank, and it is attached to a gutter on the roof outside, and that water comes in from the gutter, and I'm almost certain I have to clean that out. I've got a fertilizer injector here, so that takes a concentrated fertilizer solution and puts it into my tubing system here. One tube has got unfertilized water and one tube's got fertilized water in there, so there's a little, just sucks concentrated fertilizer up out of the bucket. I've got a lot of empty space in here, believe it or not, which means I could either expand or I could maintain my life the way it is. I think I've got enough plants in here. Oh, there's a nice little red plant here. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea of the spacing and some of the plants in here. And then at some point, hopefully soon, hopefully you won't have to wait another 9 years to see a video, but I will do a video of the greenhouse space that I have, and you can kind of see, compare and contrast between them. Okay, take care everybody.